It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, we're going to be talking about defensive settings in MyTeam. Now, I just want to talk about this right away so you guys know exactly what this video is going to be, okay? Am I going to be talking about my specific defensive settings? Yes, I am. Am I going to be talking about alternative defensive settings that I've tried and had success with before, but I just didn't quite like as well? Yes, we're going to be talking about all of them, okay? So let's say you have a switch all line. How do you run switch all defense and what are kind of the alternatives with it? We're going to be talking about that. What if you don't want to run switch all, and how do you get a stop with that? Again, we're going to be talking about all that. Now, again, we'll probably come out with some defensive videos with specific defensive settings in a little while, but I need you guys to understand the base defensive settings and what they are going to do for you. Like, what do they mean for you? Because 2K will say one thing, like let's say hard edge, right? 2K says this defender will step high, whatever else. It's not necessarily what it always equals out to. So again, we'll talk about all that in this video today. Now, before we dive any further into that though, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, make sure to smash that subscribe button as we're on the road to 90,000 subscribers. So the one thing I want to talk about before we get any further into this is people are going to start having crazy lineups. And when I say crazy lineups, I'm just going to come up with a lineup that somebody might be running, okay? So let's say somebody out there in the community has Ben Simmons at point guard, Scottie Pippen at shooting guard. Let's say Ben Wallace at small forward. Heck, David Robinson at power forward is fine. And let's say at center they have, I want to get a like switch all type of player. Let's just say Hakeem Olajuwon or somebody like that. So, or even Shaq. Let's say Shaq at center. So with that type of a lineup, you're probably going to want to switch all, because all those guys can compete on the interior. All those guys can get a stop on the interior perimeter, you know, and it's not that big of a deal. So that's kind of a switch all lineup. Now, if you're one of those guys that likes running the smaller guard, so let's say you like even MJ, he's going to maybe struggle against, you know, defending the Yaos, the Ralphs of the world. MJ, D-Wade, Luka even is going to struggle against those taller guys. Then you might want an alternative. Now, again, there's some different stuff you can do. Even Sabonis at point guard is a lot of what you're going to see. It's tough to switch all with Sabonis because, I mean, him getting a stop on the perimeter, he can, but it's not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to do. So we're going to be breaking down all those kind of things. But again, you just got to do what works for you. And this is a video that you can try the different defensive settings that I show you and see what you personally have success with. Because I'll be the first to say it. Not every comp player runs the same defensive settings, right? It's just what you're comfortable with, what you're confident in, and that's really what it breaks down into. But again, I've tried a lot of different things, and these defense settings are going to be what I've had the most success with. I just loaded into a domination game, okay? On next gen and in current gen, it's basically going to be the same. My defensive settings are the same on next gen and current gen. The first settings I'm going to be talking about are my specific defensive settings for next gen and current gen. So again, it's going to go back to what I did day one. So smother is something I probably will always do. A lot of people, I will say it, do tight, okay? A lot of people do tight. I do smother, okay? I do smother. I've tried tight, even moderate a couple times. I like smother. I like getting into my opponent. Now, off-ball pressure, there's two things that you can try, right? On current gen, it was glitched if you did tight. So for a while on current gen, you had to run moderate on current gen. But now tight is fine. Corners really don't drop like that. Obviously pump fakes they do, but they just don't drop randomly anymore on tight. So it's what I've tried. If you do want moderate, you're going to be able to pinch a little bit more, but you might get dotted a little bit more for a lightly, and people can green those. Now, on ball screens, here's what we're going to be talking about, okay? There's two things that I think are things you can legitimately try. The first is go over, right? That's what I personally do. I go over and sometimes step up with the big. Some other ones, a lot of people do go under. I'm not saying that you guys should do go under, but it's something you can experiment with. I did go under for a while. I experimented with it. I just personally didn't like it quite as much. And so that's really, you know, what people mainly do. We'll talk about the switch later and we'll get into that. But go under, go over, go under if you're not wanting to switch are the main two. Otherwise, you can ice. I don't like icing though, because you know it's just really hard with the hedge and stuff like that. So especially guarding the pop, it just can get pretty tough. So for the hedge, okay, again, there's multiple things that you can try to do. No hedge is the first thing we're going to talk about. Now the reason I don't do no hedge, okay, is because I press. Now when I press, no hedge kind of glitches because it like Again, if you're defending a screen on the press, it says the hedge defender will drop down to defend against the drive. Now, again, when you're pressing, it kind of glitches out. And so that's why I do not run no hedge, because it's like, where does the guy drop to? It just kind of puts him in no man's land. Soft hedge, a lot of people do run soft hedge. I feel like it's close to catch hedge. It just doesn't quite step as high. Hard hedge, again, that's when they're really going to hedge pretty high. It is basically, it works like it should. I just used it as an example in the intro. Hard hedge, it's what I ran versus Splash last year in the 250K finals. And I made that adjustment and it obviously worked out. Double, I don't double. Never tried it, never will. And then catch hedge. That's obviously what I run. Now, what does it do? It basically, it's in between soft hedge as well as hard hedge, in my opinion. It's easy to X switch out of catch hedge, and it's just kind of that in between, I feel like. And catch hedge is honestly what I do. Again, most comp players, I would say, probably run soft hedge if I had to guess. So it's soft hedge or catch hedge are probably the two that I would recommend for you guys to try out. Again, I personally run catch hedge. Now, on both gens, you have to put stay attached on, okay? I want you guys to listen to me. If you don't switch off, you have to put stay attached on. Why do you put stay attached on? If you do not have stay attached on, first of all, on next gen, it's a disaster, okay? It is an absolute disaster. I don't even know what happens. Those like switch screens randomly, it's just a mess. Now, on current gen, if you don't have stay attached on, the only thing that happens is it pretty much prevents your ability to X switch. And so that's the one thing I did notice on current gen. I was struggling with X switching, put stay attached on, and it basically made it just like next gen. So obviously stay attached, I would put on. I've had success with it. Now all this stuff, you just leave. Whatever it is, you just leave for the next 3. Now drive help, again, I go no help, no hope. I've always had that, always will. I don't even know if it's that big of a deal, but no help, no hope just basically prevents people from helping. Now the rest of it, I honestly don't worry about it. Again, we'll talk about that here when we get into it. So those are my defensive settings right here. Okay, I go smother, tight, go over, catch hedge, stay attached, yes, and then no help, no help. Now, here's what else I do. Now, it's, again, matchup wise, it's gonna be weird, but you do want to switch your matchups, okay? Because here's the deal: most likely you're running Luka Doncic if you're on next gen at the 1, and if you're on current gen, you're gonna be maybe running K, okay? You're gonna be maybe running D-Wade, for example, but you got guys that can defend, whether it's Ben Wallace, whether it's Bron, whether it's, Giannis. You got guys that can defend. Put them on ball, man. Scottie Pippen, put them on ball, let them get active. Let your primary ball handlers get some rest. So go into these matchups, switch around with them. Again, I can't release, I'll go through and do what I would do. I would put Ben Wall on their primary, probably D-Wade on their secondary, and RJ on their third. Go through and do that, man. Especially if you have Sabonis, put Sabonis on the center to just have some success with that. So that's basically my defensive settings. Again, you're going to want to go into adaptive coaching engine, turn that off so none of that gets messed up. Turn your help defense all the way down. It's that simple. Another thing you guys can mess around with is this, I don't even know where it's at, but it's basically the defensive assist strength. It's something I don't mess around with on next gen, but some people think it matters. I think some people put it at like 60, 70. I don't know. You can mess around with defensive assist strength. Again, I don't necessarily think it matters too much, but a lot of people, especially in the park, pro-am community, whatever, they be messing around with that. So those are my specific defensive settings. Now, one thing I think you guys should try out, okay, and I think it's frustrating to play against, is this switch all defense. Now, you can edit your own stuff within it, but switch all defense is super not fun to play against. That's about all I can say. It is just definitely not fun to play against. So when I tried switch all defense, I still ran smother. I still ran tight. Now, I did switch the on-ball screen. I switched this on-ball screen, and then obviously your hedges are just going to be switched. Like, you're just going to switch the hedge, which I don't know why it looks like glitched right now, but you're just going to want to switch each and every one of these screens. I want it to not glitch so I can put the hedge on, on the switch or whatever it needs to be. But yeah, you're gonna want to definitely switch all screens. Okay, so that's what you need to know. You're gonna switch all screens. Stay attached. I put it on auto. Right, I didn't touch stay attached when I did do the switch all defense. Now, again, this is something you can mess around with. Again, I don't run the switch all defense, so I'm not an expert in it. But it is annoying to play with. You can mess around with the switch, stay attached stuff. I think it's on auto or no for what you do. And then you go no help, no help. Now, again, you can switch all off ball. Again, you can switch all screens. Again, if I'm running switch all, I would just switch everything. So, switch rules for off ball, switch all. Why not? I mean, why? Honestly, why would you not? And then even for this, dribble handoff, switch. I mean, that's something I'd mess right down screen, switch, back screen, switch everything. Because why not? Why would you not switch all? So that's something you can mess around with. This transition defense, something I've never really worried about, but it's something that you might want to put on no threes. Just throwing that out there. So we're going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys one other thing in this with my defensive settings, okay? So this is something that some people have tried out before 250K. And I'm going to just kind of go into why they tried it out and what it does for you guys. So I'm just going to, again, go back to my specific defensive settings, and then we're going to be talking about it specifically. So let's say you want to press, but you're not good at pressing and you're getting fried, for example. So a lot of what people will do, especially on current gen. On next gen, I feel like it's glitched. But on current gen, even in 2K20, what I did is I would extend pressure. So on their point guard and shooting guard, wherever it says extend pressure, I don't even see it, you put this on yes. So basically, with the two guards, what it'll do is you'll press with the two guards, but there will be nobody guarding the inbounder. And so, again, you still got to get the ball up against the press, against the on-ball defense, but there's no real chance of you giving up a transition hoop. So extend pressure, again, it's basically you can press with your two guards, but there's nobody guarding the inbounder, so you'll have three guys back, and it's just easier it's probably easier if you do want to press, especially to start with for most of you guys, so you guys don't get fried while pressing. So that's just some things to mess around with inside of your defensive settings. This is probably the most complicated I've gotten within it, and some stuff that I've went into, but there's just multiple different things. Again, go over, go under, it's preference. Hedge, again, catch hedge, soft hedge, it's just preference, unless you do want to switch all, which, especially on next gen, for the time we're getting into, you might see a lot of people, including me, tried that switch all type of defense. But I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What type of defensive settings are you guys running, and did you guys find this video helpful? Because I'm trying to help you guys out post 250, let you guys or put you guys in the best positions to have success. So if you guys watch videos, support me, guys, I really do appreciate it, and hopefully I can return the favor to help you guys out, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.